Well, nobody normally moves into a new house or their new house in the middle of the night unless there are very extenuating circumstances. So they must be doing it for a reason. The reason in this case being that they were black and they were moving into what was still an all-white neighborhood.
My father, Jack Caesar, wanted to live in this neighborhood because these were the best houses. They were brick homes, and blacks were just beginning to approach Alameda and to Blodgett.
Because they were very well dressed and they drove a Cadillac, everyone assumed that they were very wealthy. And one of the assumptions was that they owned some nightclubs on Dowling Street.
Caesar Brothers was in age. This is a cattle company in which we were working out of the Port City stockyards.
There was also a rumor going around that the NAACP funded them to buy the house. But if they were wealthy, why would they need NAACP money? It didn't make any sense at all at the time.
We had a white secretary. My father, not being able to purchase a home in a white neighborhood, asked his secretary if he would do this for him. The secretary approached a real estate agent and had this agent to buy this house on Wichita.
Nobody was right, nobody was wrong. Of course, when you think that the Caesar family moved in the middle of the night, it was not the normal thing to do, but they had the right to do what they did.
After he had purchased the house, and never lived in it, he transferred the papers over to my father. Of course, we gave him a slight fee for doing so.
One neighbor had a shotgun, and that was a time when I felt, and some others felt, that this is not the way to do it.
The secretary gave my father the key. And at that time, they decided they would try to move in.
It did provide a lot of panic, and it immediately started people worrying about the value of their homes going down, etc., etc. And would it be safe, you know, to continue living there?
People were really miffed because they felt like that the neighborhood was not going to be the same. They didn't feel like it was a really welcome change or a change for the better. So all in all, you might say that the Caesars were not received with a fine welcoming party.
It seemed relatively quiet for a while. Nobody seemed to pay very much attention, but you could feel the pressure.
Where my house was is now where the freeway is. And so I can't tell you exactly where it was, but I did live right across the street from the Caesars. They were very quiet neighbors. We very seldom saw them.
I recall seeing the Caesars come and go occasionally from their house. They had a garage and a driveway that came in on another street, and they never spent a great deal of time in the yard.
Several phone calls were made to the house that something would happen to us if we didn't move after we'd been there for a few weeks, but we didn't take the incident too seriously.
I was working for the Houston Press in 1953. I used to ride the streets of Houston back in the days in a radio-equipped car. I was by myself. I was a cameraman and reporter, mostly for crime. I remember it was about 4 o'clock in the morning, somewhere in that neighborhood, and I remember the call coming over the radio about an explosion.
Leaving work, I had to pass by my father's house to go back to Texas Southern University where I was attending. And that was early in the morning, so as I came along, I saw the cars and the people, and so I stopped my car and got out and went to the house, and of course, by this time, the news was out and the house had been bombed.